There is a sliver of hope for more actual physical games to make their way to the Switch 2. If you're a dinosaur like me that loves collecting physical versions of games, the decision for a lot of third parties to make game key versions of games for the Switch 2 is not exactly the most exciting thing. In fact, outside of a handful of specific third-party companies like CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077 and a couple games coming from Marvelous, it looks like so far pretty much every major third-party game coming to the Switch 2 is gonna be a game key title. Meaning the cartridge doesn't actually have the game data itself, or at least not all of it, and instead it acts as a license check, so you then have to download the rest of it from the eShop. What makes this even more frustrating is the fact that there's a bunch of games that are getting released on the Switch 1 that have actual on-the-cart releases and then are game key cards for Switch 2. For instance, the Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster that we already have out on the system, as well as the upcoming Ride Owl remastered. While this is a massive headache for anyone that likes to collect physical, one at least hopeful point that's come up recently is that Video Games Plus, who if you're not familiar with, is responsible for reprinting a lot of very popular in-demand physical versions of games that don't necessarily always get the most circulation, has mentioned the fact that they would love to work with developers in the future to do full physical re-releases of games that currently are just game key titles. Whether or not they actually get any major devs on board for this, who knows, but at least the effort is there to try and make some of these games come out physically.